And in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are? What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
We always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
It's top of the hour, 10 a.m. this morning, and this is how we say welcome to ATN's Open Conversation. So ATN Open Conversation is primarily a political platform, a network flagship political platform through which trending political news, events, and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Now, through this conversation, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party system, and actors to explore hope and engender positive impact to the society. Our first point of call on the show this morning will go straight to the National Assembly, Senate, to prevent new members from contesting top position.
In Kogi State, we have APC calls for justice for slain female supporter.
In Ondo State, Assembly direct Chief Judge to investigate Deputy Governor.
Kano State will have Gandhi predicts better business climate for APC in the state.
Then November 11, Atedo Peter's side raises concerns over off-season elections.
Atiku quest for Tinubu's result post-election defeat disorders, APC.
And in still in academic records, Tinubu presented for certificate to INEC. This is according to Chicago State University. On the show today, we have the trouble of bad leadership, and that's here. But he's speaking to us today, the socio-political analyst, and that's none other than Andy Apotiva. We'll come back to you on the full show after the break.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister in the Temple of God.
What our brother access to our money we put in the bank.
I've always said there are two sets of people on earth, the oppressors and the oppressed, cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
No matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles,
and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites. Which are you?
no matter how tough the challenge, how high the obstacles, we always overcome.
What Nigerians need now is not about the taunting. Who can come and salvage us from where we are?
Everyone, it's time for open conversation, basically opening the conversation on all the issues. And I'd like to quickly welcome Andy Apotive. Good morning and welcome to 18 Open Conversation.
Good morning. Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Thank you for having me today.
All right, gentlemen, let's go. We're taking off from the National Assembly. So the second impeachment move against the Senate President Godswill Akpabio. In the amendment that was passed after senators who attended the vote to contest for the two topmost positions of presiding officers of the red chambers. The motion was entitled Amendment of Standing Orders of the Senate, persuaded by the members of that House from among themselves. The Senate also amended its rules and created an additional 9 standing committees, bringing the number of Senate committees to 83 from its previous 74. Well, it can now be recalled that the inauguration of the 10th Senate in June, the former Zamfara State Governor Abdulaziz Yari garnered 46 as against Godswill Akpabio's 63 votes in the race for why this amendment or this rule is becoming a thing. Is it that when you come into the National Assembly for the first time, you're a novice?
It's a given everywhere else in the world that experience is the better teacher on that job when compared to others who do not have as much experience like you. That's why you would see world over, in the UK, for instance, and in America, those principal officers are senators or lords who have been there, they have just done. Even though we understand that there are some political undercurrent or some political reasons to live in the best of positions possible. So when they say certain things like it is against the Constitution, I laugh because you make rules for yourself. The Constitution has said there must be one amongst us who must vie for that position. Did the rule say that the person should not be among them? No, the person should be among them. But the rule has further gone on to say this must be the qualification that the one amongst us must have. And this is how you have it everywhere else in the world. You have exactly what you have in the Constitution are things that the members of that association must abide by and must comply with. So there's nothing essentially that is too far-fetched or too extraneous, too highfalutin in what has just been done by the Senate.
Okay, let's address this. The executive director of the Human Rights Writers Association, Guriwa, Comrade Emmanuel Onwubiko, who spoke on the issue, said the amendments are unconstitutional and ultra-vires because Section 42, subsection 1 of the Constitution states clearly that policies of government ought not to be made in such a way that a certain category of citizens will be disabled from participating or benefiting therefrom. He further said that the idea of allowing only ranking members to be qualified to contest for offices within the Senate's hierarchy is impracticable in Nigeria, where the turnover rate of legislators into the National Assembly is not as robustly sustainable as the Americans or British experience about their parliamentarians. In Nigeria, virtually 40 to 45% of senators don't get re-elected. Supposing those who get re-elected lack charisma and leadership qualities, will the Senate be led by never-do-well arm of government? We in the Hurua are asking those senators who are affected negatively from this destructive amendment to file litigation to get the amendments quashed, because the amendments are self-serving, lack progressive ideals, and are very primitive and unconstitutional. We're still on the issue bordering on the Senate President. I'd like you to give your advocate to this, sir.
Okay, so regarding the issue that you just raised, it's commonsensical, permit my use of that word, to agree that what the Senate has just done is right. Okay, so if this were the right argument, let's ask him, do we have, as citizens of this country, certain pre-qualifications other than what the Constitution provides in the first instance that can give people access to vying for the offices of a governor, vying for the offices of president, senate president, as the case may be? As a citizen, you can vote and be voted for. That's what the Constitution says. But you see, there are several other precursors or specific items within the Constitution and the INEC regulation that says that for you to be able to contest for XYZ office, you must possess extra qualification as XYZ. So why don't they go to say that, to what the Constitution has provided? So why have they not gone to say, so long as the Constitution says that as soon as you are a major, you can vote and be voted for, it therefore means that you don't need to be a member of any political party as has been established by INEC to contest for. Why don't they say that? These are, even though the Constitution has said that, the Constitution also empowers those institutions, empowers the Senate, empowers the House of Rep, empowers the Houses of Assembly, empowers all those other institutions to make law. You know, it's a random where everybody must kowtow to the Babati Sokpe philosophy. You know, Babati Sokpe, the headman has said that. You know, that's the Babati Sokpe philosophy is what rules in Nigeria, what holds sway in Nigeria. Who is the Baba? The Baba is the president. So regardless of whether you're in the judiciary, whether you're in the executive legislature, whether you're even in the executive in other forms, this
is what you would want to see the activists, the
yes.
human rights fighters
yes.
do. And that they are saying that determining who gets in there based on those who have been in existence, like you said, these people are those who are working under the Babati Sokpe, if I get that correct.
Yes.
And now you're saying that these guys there, what did Baba say? That is what we're going to do.
Absolutely.
Now, how do you now...
The judiciary are just going to be there and they are adjudicating.
Right now to
Yes.
say, hey, this is ultra vires. You don't.
How is it ultra vires? To my mind, I have asked, how is this ultra vires?
Andy, let me ask you a quick
Yes.
question. If you pick up a Senate form today to become a senator,
Yes.
and then you win the election,
Yes.
Your constituency election, you become a senator,
Yes.
are you saying that if you get into the National Assembly and now it's open for you to be...
I know are qualified in all regards, qualified both by the rules of the House and qualified both by their character and content, I will support them because I know that this is the first time that I'm going there.
The people you are talking about, are they not the same people who are under the Babati Sokwe authority?
No, you don't get my point. My point is,
how would they make
why,
effective
if you would want to make this change, you don't start from this point. You don't start from going to the Senate. You start from making the advocacy right so that INEC understands that,
who
yes,
these laws.
No, this is what we are saying. If you advocated properly from the outside, you put sufficient pressure to emerge to become the Senate president, he must have this extra qualification. How is that ultra bias?
It's, according to them, the Constitution is the grand norm.
But how has that affected the Constitution negatively? I'm waiting for you to tell me now. The person who eventually becomes the Senate president, is he a member of the House of Rep?
I asked the question.
Is he a police officer?
Here is it, Andy.
Yes.
The Constitution of Nigeria is a grand norm that every other law has to come under it in order to be accepted as a law.
Absolutely.
Now, when the Senate comes up to say, this is what the Constitution says.
Institutions, the law just gives them a generic cover, but they go on to use policies to operationalize the generic principle as contained in the law.
Should any policy that any institution is making, should that policy limit what the Constitution says?
How has this limited what the Constitution says? I've been waiting for you to provide the answer. How?
I just told you that by the Senate position right now, so a new member cannot contest for the top position.
So did the Constitution tell you that new and...
Well, we have a new set of senators, new members who will be coming in by 2027. Is this law or with policy within the National Assembly, is it not going to affect those members? Were they put into consideration? Was their opinion counted?
If their opinion would not be counted because they are not currently members of the Senate.
They become members
are you not understanding me? No, when they become members of the Senate, the rules governing the Senate that had been established before they became members, they would have to abide by it. Otherwise, if they do not want to, they form a majority in the House to repeal or appeal the rules. It's as simple as that. But before they are members, you do not have a say. You are not a senator. You cannot contribute to the making of the rules of the Senate. When you become a senator and you're in the House, you can therefore